Welcome to episode 7 of season 3, RE Resistance Interviews. Tonight we have KnightofRen, also known as Ren. What's up, Ren?
Hey, Ether. How's it going, man?
Going good, man. We're glad to finally have you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I appreciate this opportunity.
Alright, Ren, first question. Who is your main survivor and main mastermind, and why?
So my main survivor for like a year now has been Valerie. That's who I've been playing pretty much like 90% of the time in quick match and customs. And I like Valerie because she just suits my playstyle. You know, I like playing support characters that, you know, pretty much have passives and skills that give their team to like a winning edge, like an advantage. I like playing support pretty much every game I play. I wanted to play support in this game. I wanted to play support like whenever I played League of Legends back then. So I feel like that's how I have fun with the game, and also because she's cute. So I was like, why not? I'm gonna, you know, it just feels right. So, and then my main mastermind is Daniel, obviously, because I just feel like Daniel is for me, Daniel is the most unique mastermind in the game, even if it's not top tier. But usually whenever I play a game, I don't really care that much about who is top tier or not, or what's like the best build, or who's like most OP like character in the game. Whenever I, you know, see someone who I just feel good with, feel good playing, I just go with that person. So, and in Resistance is Daniel, because he's a very flexible mastermind. I mean, just like a Spencer, like you could run a lot of different builds on him. But I like Daniel more because it's just chat, you know. I like his voice lines. I just like his look. So I would say though, I have not always been a Valerie main. Like when I started playing the game, I first started with Becca, and then I switched over to Jan for a while. But then I just stopped playing Jan because I felt like there was no point in solo queue. Because, you know, like back then when I was playing Jan, it was kind of simultaneous with Nikolai like coming to the game for the first time, and we all know how OP Nikolai was when he came out. And whenever I played Jan against Nikolai, I just felt like, or any gun build, like Terminal Spencer back then was also super OP. I felt like playing Jan didn't really do much because it didn't matter how many cams I shot, like, or how much I sweat on those cams. It was always going to be like an automatic loss because solo queue, OP. But yeah, it was like Becca, Jan for a while, and then I stopped, and then I just settled on Valerie, and I'm pretty happy playing her. So
Now, once RE3 dropped, what brought you to Resistance, Ren? And did you try the beta?
No, I'm actually one of the few people in this series that didn't try the beta, or probably the only person who hadn't played any Resident Evil game before RE2 Remake, believe it or not. That was my first Resident Evil / survival horror game, and you know, it just got me hooked. Like, it caught my interest when I saw the RE3 Remake like trailers. It was like all over the place. Like, I watched a lot of YouTube, and I was always like seeing RE3 Remake trailers pop up, and I didn't know what it was because I knew the franchise, like Resident Evil. I would always like see my friends play it back then, like back in the RE4 days, like and when RE2 Remake came out, I would, like, you know, I saw people playing that a lot, but I never really tried any Resident Evil game because it didn't really, I don't know, I wasn't really a fan of that genre, I guess. I didn't know anything about it, but, you know, I saw RE3, you know, I saw this, you know, cool looking cop, Jill, just like trying to save the city. I was like, there's so much action going on here. I wanna give it a try. And so yeah, I didn't even know there was a beta back then because I didn't know anything about Resident Evil. But I tried it out. Believe it or not, unlike most people who say like RE3 was short, RE3 was not a good remake, it did not have like the original, you know, some of the areas from the original game, and it was just like this and that, you know. I honestly didn't care because it was for me a new experience. It was just for me like playing with first of all a survival horror action game. And short or long, I actually enjoyed my experience. So I finished that, and then Resistance. It was always like on the side for me. It was like on the home screen, but I didn't know what it was. I was just like thinking it's probably like another file with a bunch of soundtracks from Resident Evil that they just give it to you as a bonus if you get the game. I didn't know it was like it was like a separate game on its own. But I just decided to jump into it, check it out. I played the tutorial, and it was one of those games where when I played it the first time, I had good first impressions, and that's very important when I play a game. So Resistance caught my interest, and I've been playing ever since.
Now, in your opinion, what is the best squad of characters to have for a team, and why?
Well, I feel like there's 2 or 3 team comps in this meta anyway that could work, like either most of the time or all the time if you play well. Like I feel like ever since the beginning, I feel like beta team has been just a good all-around choice. You got the tank, you got the damage, you got the healer, you got the hacker. Like you have all you need, and also creature builds shouldn't be a problem. Hopefully, if you run Sam and Tyrone's, because you literally have everything you need to win the game. So there's that, and also I also feel like the alpha team is pretty powerful, if not better, because you have a more flexible character in the team than Sam, which would be Jill. Because in that case, you got Val and Jen are always there. It's just like a no-brainer. And then you got Tyrone the tank for like bioweapons. You got it for trap Alex. At the door. Then you get door energy trying to kill everyone. You got Tyrone with the shout, who could keep everyone safe. So you got that, and then you got Jill, who could run USB and be a utility character with some crowd control if you run Hot Dogger, because you can help Tyrone at the doors against masterminds, creature masterminds at the door cheese. They all do that. So Tyrone by himself, I feel like, can be really overwhelmed against really tanky creatures or a lot of creatures. So having Jill on Tyrone's side with Hot Dogger, ideally would go a long way, because in that case you have like the USB for Campbell's, and you also have that semi-melee person who could help Tyrone if needed, because Jill can also go melee because she has a fast swing animation. So that's also a strong team, and you're even stronger than beta team against Campbell's, like against Samurai 3 Nikolai, which I really hate. You have 2 cam damage people in the team, and if you play well, you should be alright. And then I feel like the third team comp that could also work would be like keep the first 3 survivors, Val, Jen, Tyrone, and then for the 4th one I feel like you could also make Martin work, but not just every Martin build. Like I feel like if Tyrone stays full damage, because I just feel like if the melee person goes damage, that's the better choice, because melee does more damage overall in this game than guns do. Like Iron Nail is more powerful than like FMJ. So just melee is just more consistent, even with lag. So I always want the melee person to be damaged and not USB. So you should damage Tyrone, and then you do like USB bulletproof Martin. I think that could work too, because Martin is basically unkillable. And just like Jill can also help Tyrone with creatures if needed, because he has the OP flash. So those 3 team comps I feel like in this meta could work if you play well.
Ren, is there anyone in particular that inspired you to be better at this game, and improve or change your style?
Well, to be honest, I don't really feel like it. I feel like ever since the beginning, I was always super sweaty. Like even in solo queue, which really doesn't really matter, because it's solo queue. Like it doesn't really matter how much you try against a good mastermind, you're gonna probably lose. But I never really care about that stuff. I was always a super sweaty survivor. So I would say, like, ever since the beginning, I always tried my best to win with pretty much every character I played. So, everything I do now and everything I know is just me playing more and more and playing also with good players. But for the most part, it's just me getting better over time, because the more builds you fight, the more good masterminds you fight, like the more customs you do, let's say, like the better you get, the more experience you get. So I would say it was just like me. I pretty much learned everything by myself. Like, definitely there are some ideas that you can get from certain people, like here and there, but in terms of like gameplay and just how I play, it's just like kind of me, inspiring myself, wanting to get better every day. So I would say that's for Survivor. For Mastermind, there have been a couple of people, like I would say Mastermind, like Raven, some of the Japanese sweaty Daniels that I faced made me go like, that's like an interesting build. I would try it out. It could probably work. So yeah, but since I'm a Survivor main and I play Survivor most of the time, it was just me, just learning and getting better by myself.
Do you play this game casually or competitively? Sweat or none better?
Sweat. I would say sweat all the time, because I just play this game to win, and that's how I have fun. So I'm always competitive. Like, even if I lose a match or two, here and there, as long as it's a good sweaty match, I feel like I got the most out of that match. I got better. I learned something new, and it will overall be like a fun match for me, even if I like timeouts. So I appreciate fighting. Just always appreciate fighting and learning from competitive people. This game, any other multiplayer game I play. So yeah, I mean, even in solo queue, just like I said, even then I wasn't casual. I was always just doing my best, just sweating all the time. So I'm gonna keep sweating, because that's just how I play this game. I play to win. That's just it.
Have you ever felt this game is too one-sided? More in favor of Survivor or more in favor of Mastermind?
Honestly, I feel like that's a complicated question. Like, I feel like a part of it depends on your perspective, like what side you play most of the time or all the time. Like, if you're a poor solo queuer, right, who, a solo or duo queuer even, like, who does not really experience, that teamwork that you have if you play in a full team where they're all good. If you're like a solo or duo queuer, like, and you jump in there with your friends, and all you face is just like Nikolai, Terminal Spencer, just like those OP meta builds, Trap Alex, Infection Alex. Like, I feel like if you're that type of person, you would definitely say that, masterminds have a lot of advantage, because they actually really do. Like, good masterminds right now, the way people play the game, how much people know the game, I'm pretty sure you need like a full team to beat them on any map. So it just depends a lot on your point of view, At the same time, if you're a mastermind who, still actively plays the game all the time, and a lot of times he faces either full teams or just like sweaty trios, in that case, you would probably say, yeah, the game has, the game is Survivor sided. I can't win. I can't do much. They just steamroll me. So it depends a lot on that. But I feel like over time, the meta changed. Every update they put out, they just added new passive, new cards for Mastermind. They changed. They either nerfed or buffed a lot of things. So it was always like this kind of upside down heel. Like, I don't think there was ever a point in time. Maybe except for the beginning of the game, it just first came out and people didn't know what to do. Which I feel like at the beginning was Survivor-sided, because you had like, Sam was really OP, he would just destroy creatures, pretty much by himself, honestly. He couldn't die, because he had Immortal, and he had the damage, he had like the recover dash punch, he wouldn't get infected. He had like Molotov Valerie back then, so, I would say, except for the beginning of the game, after that, every update they put out, the meta just changed. And every time, it wasn't even a thing where at this point of time it's survivor sided or completely mastermind sided. I feel like every time there were, you know, OP stuff on both sides that people always took advantage of. So it's just like, it was always like this back and forth, really. I feel like right now, though, in this meta, the game is mostly survivor-sided. I'm saying it as a survivor main, because when I fight, you know, even the sweatiest creature builds in the game, you know, me and my team win like all the time. So we don't really struggle with that. So in that point, you know, or if you fight a creature build and you have like Surplus Valerie, Martin, Rocket Jill, of course you're just gonna destroy the mastermind. Like, what are they gonna do? Even if the amusement, they will lose. So I guess like it just depends on, again, what side you're on and what you go up against, like that RNG aspect of it. So, but at the same time, you know, like if you have like a sweaty Nikolai who shows up in the amusement, or like a Terminal Spencer, you know, with rear out floor 3 and just like lit cheeses you all the time and just times you out with guns because they just shoot and run away. That's how gun masterminds play in this game, just because modified gear. Is the game really survivor-sided at that point? You tell me. I don't think so. Against creatures, mostly survivors have the advantage. Sweaty gun builds in a mastermind-sided map, I would say the game feels pretty mastermind-sided, so it just depends. It's difficult to explain. I don't think there's just one answer for that.
What's your best memory of this game, Ren? And who were you with when it happened?
Oh, well, this game has been just a roller coaster of emotions for me personally. I'm not sure if there's, you know, there have been a couple. I don't think I'm gonna just like name one match or one moment where it was like the best. But you know, I've had a lot of fun in this game. You know, at the end of it. But I would say, like, if I had to say, I would. It wasn't just like one match, but there was like this period of time where me, Pep, Dom, Snake, Twisted, we would like. It was like a year ago almost. It doesn't feel that long, but yeah, it was like almost like a year ago where a couple nights in a row we would get on and just like play customs together. We would just like take turns in playing Mastermind. Like we would like go one after another, just take turns and just like challenge each other with different builds, just like practice. It would get sweaty sometimes, but for the most part, we just had a lot of fun, just like messing around, just like joking. So that time period, like where I think it was like over a week, where every night we got on together and just played like friendly customs. I feel like that was overall like a very fun time period for me, because it was, you know, I just got to know everyone better. Just got to know all my friends better, and we practiced against meta builds. We just also did some fun builds, and just like that period of a week was really, really exciting for me. So I still look back at it that I wish we could do it again, but some of us don't play the game anymore or don't play it as much. So yeah, good old times.
What are your thoughts on the Resistance community as of right now? And why do you still playing it, Ren?
Well, Resistance community is, I'm just gonna say it honestly, because this is the best chance I'll ever get. Resistance community is probably the most toxic one I've ever been a part of. Like, pretty much since the beginning. Like, I feel like I came across a lot of people, especially not all, some mastermind mains who just literally, I felt like the whole point of them playing the game was just to ruin somebody's day. They just always made this play, like this game, a lot less fun game for me to play. There are some mastermind mains out there, some Nikolai mains, let's say, who just go around, call themselves best Nikolai. They know who they are, and all they do is just like either snipe me and my team in the amusement park, because they know they have a massive advantage there, and they just only play one build because they know that's the only chance they have against us, because they know we're the best team. So there are these masterminds out there who call themselves these they give themselves these titles, just like self-proclaimed titles, best Nikolai, best this, best that, which is not true if you only play on one map. And they also block me or block my team because they know they cannot fight us. So it's just kind of funny. There's just been a lot of drama online, especially recently. And at the end, it just all comes, just like follow the clues. It just all goes back to just like one match. And which matches in this game can be kind of stupid, I'm not gonna lie. And I've been frustrated too with some matches. I feel like, for example, the amusement park is a very good place for some of his mastermind mains to get a giant ego boost because they think they're actually good. Beating my team up, trying to upload flex wins on us, trying to say it was like a fair and a square fight. They either snipe in amusement or they play in amusement, which is very funny. And I don't really take those people really seriously. I would really have a lot of respect for people if they fought me and my team in a short map and they brought the time down to like a minute or two, and it was a sweaty match overall, than a guy whose name I always see on the amusement park. So I would have a lot of respect for you if you play sweaty and give us a fair fight and only fight us on one map. So it's just like these people out there just like call themselves names, just like badmouth other people. It's just like this person did that, this person did that, but they just do it themselves, or they play with people who do it. Like there's just some people out there going around like calling my teammates like cheaters and dupers, but then ironically they either do it themselves or they play with people who do it themselves. So talk about hypocrisy. I feel like for the most part, other than just a couple of cool people I met in this game, most of them were my friends and my teammates, but there's some other cool people out there too. With the exception of just like maybe 10 people, in my experience, I feel like the game has been really toxic. And it's right now it's the most toxic it's ever been because the game's dead, really. The queue times are long, people block each other for dumb reasons, and it just gets no more updates. So I feel like people just need to make something up, just make some toxic shit up to like keep themselves entertained. So even back then when the game still got updates, I feel like it wasn't really healthy community to be in. But those people who just literally exist to make this place worse for everybody else, this game, this community, I don't really care. They can just fuck off. I just play this game with my friends to have fun. I'm just gonna ignore the irrelevant people. So other than just like my own small circle of friends and a couple of friends that are some people that I play with, the game is really dead and toxic, unfortunately. But it is what it is. Hopefully a new good game comes out that everybody can move on to, and like forget Resistance. I know Evil Dead is out. Everybody's been playing that, including myself. So I feel like it's time to like move on to better stuff because people need to just chill the fuck out in this game.
Now, Ren, how would you change the meta of this game? What would you add or remove from it? Maybe more equipment points or weaker gun?
I feel like I'm just gonna go with more equipment points, just like other people before me mentioned. Like I feel like the equipment point right now, the limit is 25. If it goes up to 30, I feel like that would be a nice change. 30 is just like a nice round number that you could stop at, and you'd be able to use more hybrid equipments if you have like 5 more points, like smartwatch and skateboard, maybe even dog tag in there. So you have like more things to work with. I think more equipment points for both sides will be a good idea. I feel like creatures are fine where they're at. Like I know creature builds are not the best, but I don't think the problem is the reason for that is just like creatures not being good. I feel like the problem is some of the survivor passives that make those builds like kinda unplayable, like Flash King Martin. Like whenever Flash King Martin came out, either like when that came out and I was reading the patch notes and I saw that, I couldn't really believe it because it just seemed stupid to me that one survivor can just like go into the room, flash it, clear the whole room. Especially if you're on shockwave, you can even destroy the traps. Like, I feel like Martin with that passive is just too overpowered against creatures anyway. And I just feel like that was not really a good idea. Even if the intention was to help solo queuers, like they needed to take into account if people run that in a full team, what's the Mastermind gonna do? It's just, it has massive AoE, it just has, you know, a lot of crowd control, it has a very short cooldown, Martin's Fever, and I feel like just adding flashing Martin was a mistake. I don't think they ever needed to do that. Like, you don't need flashing to beat creature builds, and you know, people can take a lot of advantage of that. It's actually really OP, and I faced people like that, like mixtape Martins, who literally made me not want to play the game, like play Mastermind at all. I felt like they just completely paralyzed my creatures, and just like I couldn't do anything. So that needed to get, you know, that needed to be looked at for sure. I would say Surplus is kind of overpowered too. Like, I'm just talking about the Survivor side for now. Like, Surplus, that's another thing that I feel like could really give survivors a lot of unfair advantage, because it's just like, I ran Surplus myself recently, and I was just like, you know, throwing a nade at a horde of zombies while Liberals can, and I was like picking up like 2 or 3 nades from the same horde of zombies. Like, you just throw 1 nade and then you pick up 2 more nades or 3 more nades. It's really powerful. It's, if anything, it's stupid, honestly. Surplus is it's broken. I would say one-shot Jan is honestly really, I don't think that should be in the game too. I don't think it's healthy. So I would look at that too. And then other than those, I feel like everything else on Survivors is pretty good, like pretty balanced. I don't see any other problems with it. I would say on the Mastermind side, like, I don't really feel like adding guns was the best idea. Like, I don't hate the idea of like new things coming to the game, right? Or just playing the game differently with, like, let's say, you know, making it like also adding guns to the game, so there's not like creatures all the time. Just like that variety of builds is pretty cool, but I feel like the way they made guns work is not balanced, especially with mod gear. Like, there's a lot of gun builds, especially on the amusement park, that you either have no or very little chance against, and solo queuers have no chance, because they just, you know, it's just solo queue. So any build that just makes solo queue just unplayable for people, because not everybody plays in a full team. But they also have a place in this game. They also play this game to have fun. They also bought RE3. They also, you know, everybody needs to get their money worth out of the game they buy. Any build in the game, just like on the Mastermind side, that makes solo queue unplayable, like Trap Alex, gun builds, Terminal Center especially, just needs to go. Like, it just needs to go. Like, it's not healthy for the game. It never was. It never will be. But who cares? Who cares at this point? Like, the game's pretty much done, if you ask me. But I would look at gun builds on the Mastermind side, and just yeah, maybe add some skill. You know, maybe add the skill-based matchmaking, so top players can fight top players, and casuals against casuals. That's what I would do.
Now, Ren, in your opinion, just for fun, which player is the best with that particular survivor? So, best Valorant?
There's a couple of good Valories I fought, and or I've played with in this game, and I feel like there's a lot of good ones out there, honestly, that I'm gonna mention here. I would say Data Scorpion, my good pal. I don't think he plays the game anymore, but he was just known as the Trap Alex killer. So I feel like he earned that title. Like, everybody, whenever it came to Data Scorpion, people always like associated him with shooting traps, and he really earned that. So I would say he was a good Valerie, but he doesn't play. So the people who do play, I would say, like, also Adrian is a pretty good Flex Lord Valerie. He just does everything, just pretty much does everything, or maybe even more. Like, so I would say he's pretty good. Who else? A couple of good economy Valories that really good economy Valories, because I've seen them play, that I'm gonna mention would be Violet. Violet, I'm really impressed by your gameplay. I feel like I feel like she does everything correctly. Like against creatures, against guns, if you have Violet in the team, you're pretty much, set. I'm gonna also give props to Sims 21P. I've heard the stories of Sims getting murdered while picking up credits, but I'm gonna let that one go, I guess. I would say overall she's pretty good. So other than that, yeah, she's a good overall Val. I would say Aaron's is pretty good. And another good economy Val that I've seen recently play, that I was actually quite impressed by, because she was doing pretty much everything she needed to do, was Lovely Gardenia. I feel like she's another underrated Valerie that doesn't get as much attention as she deserves, so I'm gonna also give it to her. And I'm just gonna do something uncommon. I'm gonna put myself up there too, because I feel like I've been playing Val for so long, and every time there's a custom or sweaty match, if you're watching it, I'm usually there. So, and there's a reason for that. So I'm gonna also put myself on top of the good Valeries. That's for Vals.
Best Jan?
Well, the best Jan that I've played with this game would be obviously Symphonic Phantom. Sorry, Dom. Sorry to break your heart, but I've been keeping it a secret. But if you're watching, that's just how it is. That man is just better. No, but seriously, I'm gonna say it now. I feel like this man is just like, you give him bioweapons, he stunlocks you. You give him creatures, he stunlocks you. You give him traps, he just jukes you. You give him guns, he one-shots you. He pretty much just like does everything a top Jan would do, like in every situation. So I would say he's definitely the best one. Like, but at the same time, there's one or two other good Jans in this game that I've seen play or played with. I would say Scooby Gamer 1 is also a really sweaty Jan. If anything, sometimes it feels like even sweatier against gun builds because of how hard this man stares at those cameras. So he's pretty good too. I would say right after Dom. Who else plays Jan? I'm gonna also give credit to Kara. When I fought her with my Dan, she just like shot me from angles that I really didn't expect and caught me by surprise, and made me go like, oh shoot, I need to pay more attention next time. So a Jan like that makes me better as a mastermind, I would say it's a good Jan. So Kara is pretty good. Who else? I would say after those, this Secret Ninja 2. I don't think there's a lot of good Jans out there, honestly, like a whole lot. But off top of my mind, those are the four that come to, that I can remember. So if I forget someone, excuse me, but those are the four that I've seen play really sweaty.
Best Sam.
Best Sam, I'm gonna give it to Pep, like no question asked. Pep, I've never really seen a Sam player who prioritizes killing creatures and just like clearing the whole room as much as Pep does. He's just like a completionist in that regard. He just makes sure like everything dead. He just like infinitely punching, killing creatures, killing cores. He just pretty much gets the job done. Pep is pretty cool, like pretty good with Sam. I would say for me he's on top. Like he just cleared like the entire room. Just like if you just like shoot the grabs off him and the mastermind's running creatures, Pep is just gonna obliterate that mastermind. And yeah, from the people out of the people I've played with, I want to give it to Pep for sure.
Best Tyrone.
Best Tyrone. So starting with the best one for me, I would say it's Adrian. Like I've seen good Tyrones out there, but none of them really play it like do it the same way Adrian does. He's just like different. Like he just kills the creatures. His shouts are on time, his kicks are on time, and he just like. For me, the best Tyrone would not just be the guy who just like swings a bat or a torch and kills everything. For me, the best Tyrone is the guy who, can consistently shoot, not shoot, but like kick the creatures, kick the controlled zombie off the door, or kick a mastermind bioweapon and flash him while he's stunned. And Adrian always does that consistently, which is pretty funny to look at, but also it feels just like that he's pretty good. So he not only does he do what Tyrone is supposed to do, but I would say he even goes like 1 or 2 steps beyond like his duties, and just like flexes sometimes on bioweapons and creatures here and there. And he just feels confident to do that, which means that it's good. Otherwise, he wouldn't. So I would say he's probably the best one that I've seen. Other than that, I would say Jared James Ford. I'm gonna also give him some props. I think he's one of the very few remaining Tyrone mains in the game that I see is still actively played, play competitively. So he's good. I'm also gonna give a shout out to iRoxy5, like Roxy. I played with him, and when he was Tyrone, I feel like for the most part he was just getting the job done. He was doing, pretty good. So I'm not sure, but he might be the highest ranked Tyrone in the game that I've seen anyway. So shout out to him. I don't know if he plays the game as much anymore or even plays it, but he was pretty good too. And I'm also gonna say Pep also does a good job with Tyrone at the same time.
That's smart.
This is probably the hardest one for me because I don't play with Martin mains, and I haven't seen a lot of Martin mains, and I watch a lot of Resistance, but I don't know. I feel like Martin, for the most part, is just like Martin is like too unbalanced of a character for me to say that someone is like best with him, because I feel like his fever skill is just like crazy, and just if you use it, you can like solo the mastermind if anything. So I feel like it's too unbalanced for me to say someone is best with him. But if I had to pick one, I would give it to either French Reaper. I think he runs a pretty interesting and effective anti-gun build on Martin, and he makes it work. And against creatures, he's pretty good too. So I'm gonna give it to him.
Best Becca.
Best Becca. I'm gonna give that one to you, Ether, because I feel like you're the most experienced Becca player that I know in this game, who can play against every build pretty much, every mastermind. And I've seen you like play with top teams against top masterminds before, like customs and stuff. And I've also played with you, so I feel like you would be the best, well-rounded Becca player and the most experienced one, who still bravely tries to make Becca work in this meta, where a lot of other people don't really take that character, I guess, that seriously or give it that much credit. But I would say you, and then I'm also gonna say, to be honest, True Evil, your rival. True Evil is also pretty good. Like I fought him before, and against creatures, that guy's gonna give you a rough time. Like, he's pretty good against creatures. He knows when to use his ults. He just does DPS pretty well. So I would say first you in terms of experience, second him.
Thank you very much, Ren. That's Joe.
I would say if you asked me this question like 5 or 6 months ago, I would definitely say it's Spooky on PC, because I used to watch this man a lot. Like this man was just like this man was just crazy. He would just like every time I watched him play, he would just like run out the safe room, maybe like buy a flash, like 1 or 2 matches. But for the most part, this man would just like run out the safe room with a mop and just like a speed run literally like the whole map and get all the kills and come back. And he would just like rely on his hot dogger and his perfect on-time dodges. Maybe like a flash grenade that he buys sometimes from the box, but just like buys a flash and a mop, runs out. Maybe like flashes the first room, dodges in, grabs all the keys, comes back and like kills everything with hot dogger on the way back. And he was just like, his gameplay was really fun and interesting to watch. Like it was just always funny to see this man like play and just like try to flex on masterminds, just like make jokes while he was doing it. And he was also like playing cool music on his stream too. So like the Spooky was like really like the top flex lord, Jill. that I've seen in this game, like the best one. But recently, I also met his counterpart, Scooby, sorry, on PlayStation. So I know everyone knows Scooby, Scooby Gamer 1. He's pretty much like a Spooky, but over here on PlayStation. Like they have really overall good play styles. And yeah, I would give it to him. I would say Ex Nihilo is pretty good. IDK is a solid damage deal. Ghost Stone F17 on PC and Scooby Power 2. Those are some of the geos that stand out to me.
Now, in your opinion, which player is the best for that particular mastermind? So, that's Daniel.
Best Daniel, I'm gonna give Best Daniel to Raven. I think he came up with a very interesting and creative hybrid build on Daniel, and he always stood with it. And every time I fought him, I had to like play on point, because he's really sturdy on doors. Like he can like backbite you from any angle. And he has a really interesting build that also inspired me to, try out and be better with it. So he's like my model for Daniel mates. I followed after him. I tried to learn from him. I'm gonna give it to him. Yeah, there have been some sweaty Daniel mains I fought, but Raven is probably the one that stands out.
That's Alex.
Best Alex, I'm gonna give that to X. I know X plays the Infection Alex pretty sweaty, and I think at one point he told me he lost his data. So if he hadn't, he lost like 200, 300 levels on her. And he's still like 400 something with Alex, I'm not sure. So if he hadn't lost his data, I would say like, in terms of Infection Alex's, he would be, like he's the best one for me, and he would probably be the highest ranked Alex in the game right now if he hadn't lost his data. I would say that's him for Infection, and Trap Alex, I would give it to Kingo and James. Just like no-brainer there, everybody knows those two. For me, as a Valerie main who was fighting those two as a nullify Val in those matches, I would say James gave me a harder time, because this man, even if he I would say the difference between those two is Kingo just is more safe around cameras, doesn't fit as much time. He tries to wait for the right moment to blow you up. He plays defensively kinda. But I would say James is just crazy. James just full blown just tries to kill you at any corner. And his preset was airburst around certain corners, and just he always made it super hard for you to pretty much just walk the map, because you have to walk very slowly pretty much the entire match. For me anyway, I had to stay on the ground. If I didn't, I would just blow up and die. So he just put a lot of pressure on me. And even if you I would say he's a more offensive Trap Alex, where even if you fits time on the cameras, he will do it at the expense of blowing you up. So he just has that risk-reward kind of play style. That's really interesting. Best Annette. I'm gonna give props to some people, because I'm not saying this because you might have lagged with them before, because lag doesn't really describe skill to me. If somebody is laggy, it doesn't mean they're just they're bad. They can still be good, but laggy because of region lag. So I'm not talking about lag, but in terms of a skill, I'm gonna say Aruma-G is very sweaty when he plays creatures or different builds. I know he's been playing a different build on Annette for some time, and I would say he's on top. I watched a match of Pep fighting him a year ago in Abandoned Park, and no other Annette had brought the time down that low that I had seen. So it means he did a pretty good job. He was running dealers in his deck, and I was sweating with this. Aruma-G is pretty good. Yom is a pretty good buff on it. The beta team killer. I've seen some very, very amazing matches before of people who shouldn't be losing, but they lose. So very interesting. I'm gonna give props to Dom too for that. I feel yeah, I would say those two. Those two are the top ones for me. I might be forgetting someone, but that's the two that come to my mind right now.
Best Spencer.
Best Spencer. So I'm gonna mention just like the other ones. I'm gonna mention some people. I'm gonna give credit to Volprez. I would say he's the sweatiest gun Spencer I fought in this game, who still plays. So props to him for that. Tether Spencer. Some of these people might be lagging sometimes, but still I feel like they're pretty scary to fight. I would say Alex Assassins. I don't know his exact PSN name, but I think that's the name people usually refer to him by. So Alex Assassins was this man like had his tether up pretty much like every room. Like I don't know how he did it, but he had it up like every room. He had like a tether. He would just like get it that frequently. I haven't seen him in a long time, but he was a sweaty tether Spencer that I remember. So I'm gonna give that one to him. And in terms of terminal Spencer, there have been one or two sweaty ones that I've fought before. Some of them were Japanese, which were super sweaty. Like the names I remember would be Pop Jump. I've seen Pop Jump play terminal Spencer. And who else? I guess also G Money Streets. I haven't fought that dude in a long time because he just did some things that really pissed me off. So I just didn't want to fight him anymore. But I guess that's in the past. So I'm gonna bury the past, and I'm gonna say, yeah, he's probably pretty good too, from what I heard. And also Ranger Danger Live back when he plays.
Finally, Best Nikolai.
Best Nikolai, no brainer, no questions asked. Lin Kuei, all day, every day. That man has played enough matches and beaten enough teams, even teams with hard counters. So he has done it enough to prove to me that he's the best. Like I've never really seen someone who is as fast as he is at camp swapping and cycling and aiming. Most important. So we've had a lot of back and forth matches, but I feel like Lin Kuei was the first, really sweaty Nikolai that came out on top of everybody else, that started like beating all the teams and people started talking about everywhere. So like in this meta, and I still feel like he's the best Nikolai. I don't care how, what the fanboys of certain someone say online, that someone else is the best Nikolai, but he doesn't need amusement to win. He doesn't even need like his normal tweets all the time to win. Like a certain somebody does and complains about and bitches about it when he loses. So no, obviously it's him. On any map he can be a challenge. On any team comp he can be a challenge. I feel like he has earned the title of best Nikolai in terms of how many matches he's played and how many teams he's beaten consistently. So it's gonna be him at the end of the day. No questions.
Finally, Ren, who are a couple special players you prefer to play with?
Honestly, I'm just gonna say my own team, because I would say each one of us, the characters they play are very sweaty, and we are pretty good against every build in the game. So X Nihilo, X Scooby Gamer, Dom, also Adrian when I do play with him. Those are the 4 people that I can actually consistently rely on in a super sweaty custom match or any sweaty match. So just my own team, honestly.
Any final statements or anything you want to say, Ren?
I guess I'll just say overall, with all the drama going around and all the roller coaster of emotions that I've had in this game, I would say at the end, because this game is kind of nearing its end, like the end of its life cycle, pretty much like done for, especially with other games out or coming out soon. So I would say after everything that I've gone through in this game, bad and good, frustrating and fun, I would say at the end of the day, I got the most I could out of this game. Like, I feel like the decision I made to buy RE3 2 years ago was probably one of the best decisions I ever made, because I just had a lot of fun with both games, and I just made a lot of friends in this game. And overall, it was just like I guess it was a fun ride, you know. So I can't really complain. I would say I got my money's worth basically out of these 2 games. I'm gonna still be here. I'm gonna still be playing. I'm gonna still be sweating, and you're gonna see me. And hopefully, we can all at some point, you know, move on to a new game and just meet each other there and have fun there. So maybe it'll be Reverse, maybe it'll be Evil Dead or something else. But overall, it's been a fun game, I guess. The toxicity aside, and yeah, it's just been fun. Can't complain.
Alright, Ren. Thank you for doing this, bro. I appreciate it.
Thank you for for this interview. Thanks for asking me. I appreciate it, and I think you're very creative with this series. So keep up the good work, and thanks for your time.